We are back with the basket. Part 2. Let's get through some of these thrillers and get caught up. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Amy here. So today we're going to continue, so I guess this will be part 2 of trying to catch up on reviewing the thrillers I have read since like December. Alright, let's get this show started with The Crash by Freida McFadden. Starting off strong with a Freida McFadden, although I gave this one a 3.5 stars. It was still good. I still very much enjoyed it. It was still very Freida-like, twisty, turny. You think you know, but you really don't. So we follow Tegan and Polly's point of view in this story. Tegan is pregnant from a one-night stand, so there's a story behind that. And she is leaving to go stay with her brother. And of course there's a snowstorm coming, hence the crash. This is where Polly and her, I think I remember his name is Frank. I brought my trusty notebook in here with me today, so let me see. I think his name is Frank. Frank finds Tegan in her car on the side of the road and, you know, sees that she's pregnant and that she needs help. It's a snowstorm. They're not gonna get like paramedics out there or anything. So he brings her to his home, to his wife Polly, because she used to be a nurse. Sorry, his name is Hank, not Frank. I was close. But anyway, that's pretty much all I can tell you about that right there. So we just kind of go back and forth between Tegan and Polly, and we also the story of Tegan's pregnancy plays a whole part in the whole story, as well as, you know, like how she got pregnant and like all that ends up to be all the twisty turny plot twisties at the end of the book. The reason why I gave it 3.5 stars, I did find this one slow, kind of a slow burn thriller, just the back and forth between Tegan and Polly. I got a little bored at some point. I did listen to this and the audio was very good. Like I said, it just kind of lost my interest somewhere in the middle. Not necessarily lost my interest, just like, okay, let's kind of get to the point. Like, not my favorite Freida McFadden, but still a good, fun popcorn read, as Freida McFadden's books really are, in my opinion. This is a very much surprise read for me. This is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I gave this 4.5 stars. Once again, it wasn't quite a 5-star, but I absolutely loved it. I did think it was a little bit on the longer side, but again, this is kind of, it's not historical. It takes place in like 1975. Yeah, but we do go back to like the 1950s to kind of get the whole story. We go back to 1950s, 1961, winter of 1973, June 1975, July 1975, August 1975. So we have all like these timelines that we go through in this book, and we follow a ton of people. So the main event that we're really following this story for is it's a missing child case, basically. So summer camp, picture it, summer camp 1975. Barbara Von Laer Barbara Von Laer goes missing from this camp. So that's kind of how the book kicks us off. But what's such a mystery with this missing person is that her brother went missing just like, what, 14 years prior. Barbara's brother Peter, aka they called him Bear, went missing as well. So 2 of the Van Laer children have gone missing. So we get to learn more about the Van Laers. We follow their mother. What is her name? There's so many names, it was hard for me to keep up. I want to say their mother's name is Alice. That's a name that sounds familiar to me. Because her husband's name is Peter as well. So we have like 3 generations of Peter's the grandfather, and then the father, and then Peter. So really the story focuses mainly on Peter's missing. So we kind of go back to that time, which was around 1950, I believe, when he went missing prior to Barbara's missing. And you know, he was never found. Nothing was ever found about Peter or Bear. And so we go back as far as that to find out what happened to Barbara, or what could have possibly happened to Barbara. Does it all flow together? Is it all the same type of missing? Is there someone involved? There is someone that went to prison for the disappearance of Peter back in 1950s. So there's a little backstory about that character in here. We follow the grandfather. We follow a couple people from the summer camp. The summer camp is actually owned by the Von Laurs, so you learn about that somewhere in the book. So it all kind of ties together. But like I said, it was a bit of a long story, but it kept me enthralled. Like, just the whole mystery of what happened to Peter. And Alice was a little mysterious as well, the mother. And then I found it interesting that we didn't really focus on Barbara until like towards the ending of the book. So I was just very intrigued about this book. Like I said, it wasn't quite a 5-star for me. It's not my normal read. I know it is a 5-star read on like Book Talk. A lot of people love this book, and it's very well worth the love. The sticker, the gold sticker, is very much, it deserves the gold sticker, as well as the Book of the Month lolly. If you can see, it's kind of imprinted on the back of the book. Beautiful book. This is like such a beautiful book. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I want to like kind of just display it on my Book of the Month shelf. Famous Last Words by Julian McAllister. I was very disappointed in this book. I only gave it 2 stars. I could not get into the story. It just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't pique my interest. This does have a very intriguing and interesting synopsis or plot to the book. So we have, what is our character's name? Camellia. Yeah, so we mainly follow Camellia through this book. It is her first day back to her job. She's an editor after having her baby with her husband, Luke. So when she wakes up in the morning, you know, she's thinking that Luke's gonna come with her to drop their baby off at daycare, you know, and be with her on her first day back into like the real world, not having her baby with her all day long. But he's not there in the morning. All there is a very cryptic note. It says, "It's if anything," is all the note says. So she's not sure what he means by this, but she's not really worried in the beginning. You know, she goes on to work, and then as she's like getting into her first day back, she learns that there is a hostage situation that her husband Luke is involved in. So it has potential, but it just fell flat. Like, I didn't really enjoy this at all. I just remembered being very bored. The whole hostage situation, I was not into the whole back and forth with, you know, why are we doing this? Why do you have these people hostage? Like, what's the whole point of this whole hostage situation? Yeah, I just felt like there was just really nothing else, and it wasn't the finality of the book just was very underwhelming. It was, I don't want to give too much away, but it was just a wrong place, wrong time kind of situation. So yeah, it just didn't hold my interest. The only reason I kept going because I just wanted to find out, like, what was the whole point of this? I was just curious. That's pretty much why I gave it 2 stars. And the audio was really good. I did listen to this on the audio, and the audiobook was very good. So I say that's the way to go if you're going to give this one a try. Now, I'm kind of in the minor majority that didn't really care for this book. A lot of people did really like this book, and I can see where it can be very, very much likable, but it just didn't pique my interest. That's all. It just wasn't for me. Now this book, on the other hand, I very much enjoyed. I gave this one 4 stars. This is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I've loved this author's writing so far. Everything I've read by this author so far, I've either gave a 4 or a 5 star. So this starts us off with Connor and Theo. Connor is taking Theo to meet his family at the family's like winter cottage or winter cabin. It's a very extravagant winter cabin. Connor's family does have, or Connor comes from, a lot of money, and he and Theo have only been dating for about 3 months and they are already engaged. So you can kind of already feel like what Theo's feeling, like she's not very comfortable in this situation. Like she feels like his family's gonna think that she's after Connor's money, which is not the case at all. Her and Connor just truly have made a really good connection, and that's what I really liked about this book, because at first I was like, I don't know, it's just gonna be like a, you know, gold digger type of story, but it really wasn't. So I just want to throw that out there. But while she's there at the cabin, she finds a picture of herself as a little girl. So that kind of takes that's where the story kind of kicks off. We go back to kind of figure out, why is there a picture of her at these people's cabins? She does not ever remember any of these people here at this location, any of Connor's family. She has no recollection of any of Connor's family. So this was just really a crazy roller coaster ride as Theo starts to dig into like her past. She doesn't have the best past. You get to know her as a child and what happened with her. Really the whole story and the plot twist and everything revolves around Theo's story, and how she got to where she is now, and why she may not remember that picture that she finds. So the story just kind of revolves around her. It's a short book, so it's very fast paced, and I was just enthralled I was just in it until the end. And the ending did not disappoint. Like it was crazy. It was crazy, and I really enjoyed every minute of it. I did listen to this, which was also a very good narration for this story. So The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. Absolutely love this. Gave it 5 stars. It's a small one. It's smaller than The Perfect Marriage. But we jump right back into Sarah's life. Sarah is one of the best defense attorneys. But in this book, she's taken on a little bit of a different route with her career. And in this one, she also has a new husband. You really need to read The Perfect Marriage before you get to The Perfect Divorce. So this one, of course, starts us off with she's divorcing her husband. It also starts, I really liked how this one started off. It starts off with a documentary of Sarah's first husband. And it's a documentary on, was he really guilty from the first book. I don't want to say too much about this one. Just know that she's back. She's giving them hell. She knows what she's doing. She's just a badass character. She's not dealt very well when it comes to men in her life. So she's just out there just giving them what they deserve, basically. But this was a really good time. Like I said, 5 stars. It was short, fast-paced. I enjoyed every minute of it. I love the narration. Sarah's voice. Oh, there's a cast, I believe, in this book. Yes, there's a cast of narrators for this book, so everybody has a voice, so it was phenomenal. The audio was fantastic. Highly recommend the audio if you can. I have 2 here that I DNF, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of those. I probably should have started with these, but I'm just getting into the basket and I was like, oh yeah, I remember these. Both of these were picked off of my TBR shelf back there from my TBR jar that I recently made. I'm going to be getting back into that jar for July. For June, I'm just reading whatever I want. Male romances, basically. I don't have a TBR for June. I'm just kind of reading what I want to read, because there are so many new male romances out there that I've learned from Book Talk that I'm so excited to get to. I'm reading some very good ones right now. I'm listening to one and physically reading one, and they are both just like, I don't know which one to go to first because I love both of them, but we'll talk about those at a later date. But anyway, I'll start off with Dark and Shallow Lies. This is by Jenny Myers-Sain. I didn't get very far at all. I did try to start listening to it, but I didn't care for the audio. And just in general, our main character just sort of already like immediately got on my nerves. This is young adult. It is sort of takes place in a fantasy type world. It's like magical realism basically, and it does take place in like the Louisiana swamps kind of thing. So that's really what intrigued me about this book. It just didn't really do anything for me. Did I say it was young adult? It is young adult, magical realism kind of thing. So a little bit more on the fantasy side. There is a mystery about our main character's friend that went missing years ago, and the mysteries of the swamps and things like that. But it just didn't pull my interest. So sadly, a DNF. And then In the Woods by Tana French. I didn't really have high hopes for this one. I started listening to it. I'm not sure how far I got, but I immediately did not like our main character, the guy that we were following. I didn't really care for the narration. The voice of the main character just kind of made it worse. We are following a detective in this book, Detective Rob Ryan. And in the beginning, you know, we learn that it's about these kids that go into the woods, and only one of them comes out with like a bloody shoe. And that's about, I mean, I didn't get very far to find out anything else about this child and the bloody shoe and what happened to his friends. But it just immediately, we just go right into the detective and just kind of following him around on cases. And I think there's like another missing persons case that they're working on. And it's, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way that it was read. I didn't like the way that it was written. It kind of felt very old school to me. Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't. I wasn't wasting my time. I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. And I was like, you know what? There's too many books out there to just sit here and listen to something I'm not interested in. So DNF. All right, that's it. We are caught up on thrillers, mysteries, because I feel like this one, The Guide in the Woods, it does have a mystery aspect to it. So, but it's not necessarily a thriller. It does have a mystery to it though. Yeah, we're caught up on our mystery thrillers. Let me know in the comments if y'all read any of these, how y'all felt about them. Especially the Famous Last Words. I definitely want to know if y'all read that and if y'all feel the same, because I feel like I'm the only person that didn't necessarily like that one. But anyway, thank y'all so much as always for watching. Hope y'all are having a wonderful Pride Month, celebrating who you are, and I will see y'all very soon in a new video. Bye y'all.